go.
Yo, what y'all doing, yo?
Yo, hello? You there?
Yo, hello? Yo, what's good?
Sandula, pick up.
Peace, King. Yo.
What's good?
Yeah, I'm on my, yeah, we on the book phones.
Yeah, nah, Bookman. Yeah, son.
Yeah, Bookman.
Bookman. Yeah, we dialing in.
Dialing into the matrix.
Yeah, I'm reporting from the occult.
Yeah, I'm over here in the metaphysics.
I just left a Bobby lecture.
I just left the Valentine lecture.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Look at my book phone. I just racked up from a Bobby lecture. I'm in 05. Yeah.
I'm over here with Dot.
Yeah, I'm on Laygram.
I'm in 20, I'm in 09, 08.
You in 09, okay.
Yo.
What it look like?
Check it out, family. Check it out. If y'all know what these gentlemen are doing right now, there's something on Instagram going on called the BookPhone Challenge.
Get some heavy mentals.
And it's super dope, man.
Hold on, make sure they scan this book list right there. Need to see what this book phone is about.
Yeah, they need to.
I've seen a lot of the same books.
This is
into a lot of the same books.
Real quick, all right, I'm zooming in on Blue Pill. Both of y'all just keep it. I'm zooming in on Blue Pill right now. Just for y'all that don't know, every book Blue Pill got here was recommended to me by Bobby Hemmett. That brother had an extensive book list for our brothers and sisters to read when he was out here lecturing.
Facts.
So, yeah. You see Pascal Beverly Randolph, Functionary. You can't even get that on Amazon. You got it, man. That's special right there. The Rick Vader, Rudolph Steiner, Gerald Massey. He used to stay talking about Gerald Massey. Stay talking about Peter Moon, Synchronicity and Seven Still, Hermetica. Also, you know, Tahuti for those who are in H-Chem. And we're going to go over the Red Pill because I know these book phones is getting heavy, y'all. We're going to go over to Red Pill. He got Stolen Legacy, George G.M. James, ISIS Papers, Francis Cress Wilson, the I Am Discourses, Personal Magnetism, Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Work Week, David Icke and The Truth Shall Set You Free, Black Dot, Hip Hop Decoded, Santeria the Religion, The Intention Experiment, Self-Aware Universe, and last but not least, what's that at the bottom? Professor Griff.
Griff. Shout out to Griff.
Shout out to Griff.
Happy belated.
Shout out to Griff. Yeah, so we're going to conclude that.
On that.
We're going to just leave the books on the table while we, that was dope, y'all. So basically, you know, we had a conversation and we was at the National Black Theater and we was talking about, you know, 444 and we was talking about, you know, how being smart. Why do people hide being smart? Like 50 Cent, intelligent brother, Mobb Deep, Prodigy. His great grandfather was who was it again?
Founder of Morehouse.
What's the dude name? The funny dude, the down south dude with the accent. He be Plies.
Yeah.
College graduate. What's his name? The tall dude.
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. College educated. Like these brothers are smart, but you wouldn't know it.
Lil Jon.
Fathers of rocket scientists.
You for real?
Yeah.
And I've personally sat with all of these brothers, so this is not just hearsay. I've interviewed Plies in his collegiate voice. You know what I'm saying? We used to hang out with John. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like,
so
it's these dudes are not dummies. No.
So
they're not mumble rappers.
So Jay, you know, Jay said what he said. We talked about it when he was talking about, you know, about the money phone. And, you know, we don't call that money over here or something. I don't want to chop up his lyrics. What did he say?
Right. There's a disconnect.
We don't call that money over here.
All y'all holding money to your ear. It's a disconnect.
We don't call that money over here. Okay. Yeah, so...
Keep in mind that lyric right there. Please.
Right, okay, so I will.
General that.
So, you know, after that, there was a lot of response from rappers still throwing up the money phone. Like, man, we ain't trying to hear that, old man. We still got this money phone thing going on. So I don't know who started the book challenge, but I think it's dope. Lil Jamal started it.
I can't say that he started it. I'm not 100% sure of that. I know that when he picked it up,
that's when it.
Yeah, and it's attributed to him.
Yeah, it's attributed to him from what I bore witness to because I saw it the day that it gained action. I believe it was a Sunday morning.
Yeah,
and from what I saw, he said that, you know, I'm gonna set off this
I'm gonna set it off. Okay, my bad. Yeah.
So
saw
super
it.
shout out to Lord Jamar, man.
indeed. Super
This
shout out
is
to
exactly
God.
what we was talking about, making things like this cool, man. Like we need it's being smart needs to be cool again, man. This ignorant hiding your intelligence. I mean, come on, man. It's going on for too long. But talk to me about it. About this trend, what it represents. Is this something Jay-Z ushered in? We was talking about him being a paradigm changer. Is just something that we shouldn't even, it's just a trend that's gonna come and go? Do you see this as building momentum into something else? Talk to me, man.
I think quite naturally, you know, with the brother dismissing one thing, you feel me? Because we've always said, all right, well, if he removes one thing, what replaces it? You know what I mean? For the stance that he's taken with this particular project to be considered quote unquote conscious, even though we have said that it may more so align with the stay woke movement rather than quote unquote consciousness, you know, nonetheless, it's a push towards intelligence. It's a push towards being a little bit more grown and how you're seen in this world, right? It's speaking about the image of the melanated man. So if Jay-Z's acquisition of material wealth at this particular time is not only attributed to his business savvy, but also his intelligence, you feel me? And then you have somebody from the era that's connected with quote unquote poor rights teachers by way of Brand Nubian, say, okay, I probably can't win the argument in regards to who started this conversation in the community about being responsible and this and, you know what I'm saying, having conscientious lyrics in your music or what have you. But he was able, like you said in the last interview, to take something that already had steps on it and build on top of that. Rather than try to tear the steps down and rebuild the stairs. Like, nah, I can make spiral staircases though. Y'all tripping off of them step staircases. I can make spiral staircases. No, why not ascend the first 3 steps, right, as a master and start building from there?
Facts.
Okay, so the brother came with a concept that struck a chord and resonated in the community, which will be beneficial exponentially for time to come, because one of the main questions that people have that they DM me about, I'm just getting into this information.
What should I start reading?
What should I start reading? You have a recommended book list.
Facts.
Okay? So now people have a visual because they can pause either on the video, where people are doing it video-wise, or they can look at the picture and they can jot down that book list. Because like I said, the majority of people are reading the same books in this community.
Yeah.
So there's not too much diversity. So you could at least start there. You feel me? It's and again, the thing that brought him to tears, that brought me to tears as well, the babies had a little, they had their phone books, you know what I'm saying? They had their book phones and everything. So it's a wonderful thing. There are many people in our community that are advocates of reading, you know what I'm saying? Rashid, you know, Asir, Polite, you know, he's written 90 books, you know what I'm saying? There are other people, of course, Bobby Hemmett, you know what I'm saying, Brother Panic. Valentine, you know.
Keep in mind, our community is filled with authors. It's author heavy.
Yeah.
You know, there are hundreds of authors that are amongst us. So, you know.
Yeah, Inky's written books, Ali's written books, Amara Squad has written books.
Yeah.
Who else? RV Bay Publication is an entire publication of literature. You know what I'm saying? They're turning out books, manuals, and all sorts of literary effects. Abdullah Mosley Bay, you know, he's pushing out books. Our brother Black Dot has pushed out books. You know what I'm saying? So entrepreneurial wise, before people started selling, we were selling clothes and, you had other people selling jewelry, but a lot of brothers, their entry into entrepreneurialism was selling books.
Selling books.
You know what I'm saying? They was writing and selling books. There's other people that came in as book vendors, to supply the need of this new literary pursuit of people that had to, remove all of the old information out of their mind, and they wanted to get an archive of this new info.
Facts.
So they was getting these books, and that was there was a market for that. And people, they pretty much, they fed that, you know what I mean? So our relationship with books have been around for a minute. I remember this book right here. The David Icke one.
Yeah.
Like, the one I was reading was The Biggest Secret. I read that.
I remember that.
Yeah, September 10th, 2001. I was reading that book up until 3 that morning. And one of the last passages that I read in that book, he said that they was going to attack the World Trade Center and they were going to blame it on a man named Osama bin Laden. And he said, watch and see who is the first people to report it. And he had this whole chapter about Colombia, you know what I'm saying, and how they worship that deity. So when it took place that morning, 20 minutes afterwards, CBS was the first channel to flash Osama bin Laden picture on TV. So I had read that the night before.
In the book.
You understand? So that truth set me free. So I was able to advocate with my publication a stance that was anti what the official story was.
Yeah.
And that led me to even venturing out with Black Dot and other individuals to start what we consider now the metaphysical underground under the guise of hip hop, you know what I'm saying, with that vibration attached to it. Because we was like, this is some BS. Then Valentine came with that lecture and blew it out the water. You know what I'm saying? So books are important. There's so many situations that I had getting into this information where I would read a book and it would allow me to access imagination, the faculty of imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That eventually I saw materialize.
It even allowed you to have the vision. It fed your.
When I got downloaded with the Law 44, I was reading Time of the Technosphere. I was reading through Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? And different books on Kabbalah and stuff like that. So books are imperative. They're important for unlocking the consciousness. They're grimoires because you get to not only access the material between these pages. If you're a reader such as myself that just goes a tad bit deeper, you can access what the author was thinking at the particular time. You can start reading with that voice in your head, that spirit that tells you, nah, not that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah, that's some BS. That was his ego. Don't even read that part.
Fact.
Like, that's how I read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I was able to skim and skip through the parts that was non-kosher.
Yeah, the non-kosher.
You feel me? Because I had that, I was in that stillness. I was incarcerated. So I had that level of stillness and peace, ironically. You feel me? Where spirit was able to dictate. Like I had something over reading with me, you know what I'm saying, in my ear, just directed me what to get into and what not to, and I was able to unlock my imagination and go places, that freed me from my environment. My mind was never in that environment.
Exactly.
So books are something else. I'm writing 3 of them as we speak.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Mainly from listening to some of the authors in our community, speak on the fact that, more of us should be authors. More of us should be telling our stories.
Yeah.
Instead of just on these platforms, freestyling. You know what I'm saying? Just put a literary work together. Because our bills amount to that. You know what I mean? That's what some of these greatest books have been extrapolated from conversations.
Indeed.
You know, so.
What I want to talk to you about is something I've noticed constantly throughout my years in gaining knowledge of self. You know, you start out with one book, then eventually you're up to 100, 200. You know what I'm saying? You need a bigger bookshelf and all of that.
Yeah.
I notice when people read a book, say you just came to knowledge of self, so you read in David Icke book.
Yeah.
4 years later, you might be on to, let's say you on to Mystery of the Universe, Hermetica, or you in the Bobby section. You know what I'm saying? So what people do sometimes is that once they feel they've outgrown something, they start to shit on what helped them throughout their journey. To get there. So they say, man, F David Icke. Like some people might say, man, why they got David Icke up there?
Yeah,
that's what I use.
They're gonna shoot.
That's what I use. I use David Icke during my journey.
I know.
What, I'm supposed to hide the book for people so people could feel good?
It's
no.
forsaken now.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me hide it. I don't want. No.
Exactly.
David Icke was instrumental in my journey. Blue Pill just told a story about 2001, 9/11.
Yeah.
We supposed to lie about that?
Exactly.
So talk to me. Is it? Do you see it wrong for somebody to shit on a thing that helped them get where they're at?
I'm gonna go in and just say this. Some of my biggest jewels were found when I had the courage, right? Or not just the courage, but the respect to go back and reread some of my older books. Ooh. The minute I got into it, waterfalls. You know what I'm saying? Splash. Yeah, I was mining. I was Bitcoining. You know what I mean? It was Sonic. All the coins was popping. I'm going into old stuff, rereading it, and what is it doing? It's reading me. Because when you go back to something that you've already started, then you know you've been on that journey.
Right. So, again,
because you overstand it now.
Quantum. You are entangling timelines.
Yes.
Because you're remembering. Damn, I remember exactly where I was at when I read this, what I was doing. You feel me? Does what I read back then qualify itself now? And like you said, then it starts reading you. And there's things that happen. I can't speak to everybody's experience, but you have to become an avid reader. You have to dive in. And when you pass these points and these plateaus that you feel that you've outgrown this information, challenge yourself and go back to it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I read Dr. Seuss like 30 times. You know what I mean? I could technically have outgrown that the first time, but I went back and I seen the rhyme scheme. I was like, oh, sun is going in, he's weaving.
Yeah, he's weaving.
I don't know if this is similar to what you just said, Red, but I want you to comment on it anyway. The phenomenon that everybody experiences when they read a book, start to finish, but when they read it again, they learn something new. And you're like, yo, I just read this book. It wasn't here before. Why didn't I interpret it this way? So it's like you read it 3 times, and each time you read it, you learn something new. But you already read it, but for some reason, you're learning new stuff when you read it that second and third time.
Just goes to show you how vast the imagination is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you're allowing your imagination to create what is known as alternative realities. So every time that you go back, you're approaching it from a different angle with a different angel. You know what I mean? So it's going to have a different outcome, a different interpretation.
There be times when I've read a passage.
Yeah.
And if I'm reading and you say something to me and I get to the next passage, but then I have to reread it for whatever reason,
facts,
I'll reread that passage and find something new that I just skimmed over. And I'm like, no, I just read that.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Why does it feel different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does it feel different? It's only 5 minutes removed from, and I just read that. But then it starts tying into different things. So, I mean, reading is deep, and it's a process that is going to speak to you based on where you're at. You feel me? It's going to speak to you based on the level of concentration that you could give it, because you have to engage imagination. I'm a very visual reader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that has helped me become a visual writer. I have to see what I'm reading. I have to hear it in my mind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So reading is beyond fundamental. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think about? So what do you think about Blue audio books versus reading? Because some people, everybody's so busy now that they don't have time to sit down and read. So if I'm on a train, throw the audio book on. If I'm driving, audio book. Do you have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with it, but again, like I said, and this might work for some people and not for others. Again, because it deals with the development of imagination
Of one's mind.
of one's mind. Certain times I need to hear it in a voice that I prescribe it. You know what I mean?
I have to be the one reading it. It has
Yeah.
to be, that voice has to be mine.
It has to be my voice or voice that I prescribe to it per se, because you're gonna be read to in a monotone voice, and I haven't had the experience of remembering quotables from audiobooks. It doesn't sink in the same way with me. You feel me? When I'm able to read something myself, it's more personal. It's a little bit more intimate. You know what I'm saying?
And
like, remember when we used to take the the neon color joints and you know what I mean? You used to mark your book up, and you know me, I would do the indentation on the corners, and then you know what I'm saying? That's the joints you go back to for your quotables and everything.
Yeah.
Like, there was a process that I feel, because of the dawning of technology, might be lost. That's another reason I was so happy to see the book challenge materialize the way that it did. I'm like, okay, people are still reading.
Yeah.
Do you just own them books, or you reading them?
So you're not a fan of Kindle, having 1,000 books on this one tablet? You're not a fan of that?
I don't own a Kindle.
The concept of
Yeah, I mean, that's
do.
what I'm saying. I'm speaking on something that, like, I own a lot of ebooks, but I don't read them as much. I really still am into the physical aspects. You know, I'm with the whole Save the Trees movement, but I also understand the magic of, you know what I'm saying, paper and ink. You know, I'm still from that school. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I still want to see the pages flickering, and I still want to take notes. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm an advocate for the age that we're living in, where you have the option to be an author, and I think that you should you should exercise the option of having an audio version of your book that you read over in your voice, simply sat in the studio of high quality, and recorded yourself, all of your tones and inflections, even to add a little soundtrack to your reading of your material, the way that you put it together. Give it to me the way that you wrote it so I could feel it. Now, there's something that you could gain by reading by yourself, but there's also something that you could gain by having that author feed it to, give it to.
I'm gonna have an audiobook version.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it the way that I feel it should be done to be ultra engaging.
Indeed.
Which I haven't experienced yet. And I'm not saying this stuff doesn't exist. I'm saying I haven't experienced it.
Yeah, you haven't created it yet. So, I feel that the option should be afforded to the customer at this point in the game, because I'm pro when I'm doing things and I'm cleaning up or I'm moving. I got my phone, my mobile, but I can't stop and just watch something or read a book because I'm on the go doing multiple things. That audio would probably work. I'm sure technology is going to advance where that algorithm is going to be created to solve that problem. And in that solution is where we should be looking. You know what I'm saying? How to really bring the two together, because remember, we had a KT in 2013. We got into the cyber library. We had the KTL cyber library where we had a guest on the show getting 20 books that you can never even find in regular stores, for $20. You know what I'm saying? Being able to do that is, definitely something that that's a part of a new economy. You know what I'm saying? This economy exists, but that economy exists as well. So, yeah.
Indeed, indeed. In terms of reading, I've noticed that every time I'm on these sites that deal with finance and wealth, the millionaires always talk about reading.
Mm-hmm.
What is it doing to your brain that you can't get by being on social media or being on YouTube? Because you could give a lecture right now on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have a lecture called In Too Deep, but then you have the book version. What is the book version doing differently to your body, mind, and soul that you think a lecture or watching somebody speak can't do?
First of all, it's the detail, the amount of information, going back to the importance of information, and especially when it's detailed, when it's compartmentalized, you know what I'm saying? When it's built the right way. So a table of contents provides organization. You know what I mean? That organization is information, but it's your thoughts put together in a well-built, well-formed manner. That's what you'll find in the majority of these books. Do you recall reading a book where the thoughts were just completely off and the table of contents and all of the chapters were off, or were they not flowing in a
organized manner?
A healthy, organized manner, right? With structure.
Right.
So
within the box.
So these and these books and the stories that lie within them also adhere to sacred geometry and mathematics. They all follow patterns. So this is high science.
Yeah, I think with the apparatus of reading, you're engaging, a multitude of faculties at once.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more concentrated, you know what I'm saying? You have to still your mind to stop the conversation that's taking place, you know what I mean? Outside to engage the conversation that's external in this book, but then you're internalizing it yourself because you're imagining, you're putting yourself there.
Facts.
And you're creating a feeling of, connectivity to say, I'm feeling what I'm reading, you know what I'm saying? I'm there.
You're in that alternate world.
You're in that you're transported into that alternate world.
You're the observer now.
Yes.
Or you may be the participant. You might be in the movie.
So I think that with successful business people, they're able to enhance their level of concentration by reading, and they're also able to engage their imagination, by transporting themselves. So they're going to be a little bit quicker when it comes to decision making.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because their faculty of thought is readily engaged by, continuously tapping in to alternative universes.
Facts.
By way of the imagination, by way of reading.
Exactly.
So they can see it, you know what I'm saying? Their light is on.
Is that not the true internal conversation that they talk about, that you're having with your, because that's what reading affords you versus Netflix. This is an internal conversation that I'm having. It's an exercise that you're beginning to have with one's mind.
I just said that. Right.
Now I'm adding on to what you just said. I was just adding on. So that is what, we get from this. And then, being that we're innovative people, right? Because we're inspired by each other. So people read other people's bodies of work for inspiration. Like, you'll sit back and listen to my body of work, which would be my rhyme book, in the form of an album, and that can give you inspiration. That can make you feel good. Like people said, Scorpion King makes them feel good. It's inspiring them. It's giving them, books and different ways of interpreting information that we all read together. You dig what I'm saying? So, I think even in the community, these books have come to life. in the lives that you're seeing displayed in the community,
Right
in
now.
the way things
Right,
are, yes,
okay.
in the way that things are beginning to form, and the stories that are being told. So that book list that we saw, that same, that pattern that repeated itself. It's all about, you have to data mine from what it is that you see. So the book challenge will be data mined. Will it be by our own, or will it be by somebody outside of us who understands what they're seeing, because they're going to say, what's the most book that we... Shout out to my brother Supreme, mathematics, what's the brother's full attribute? I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
The brother who has the books.
We'll pull it up so you give him his rightful.
Indeed. Peace to the God. The God we've been building on social media. His books were the most frequented books that I saw in all of the pictures. So I have to salute the God for putting in all of that work. You feel what I'm saying? Like, his books was in all of the book piles. So a lot of the people are keeping up with his works, and his works are excellent, very visual and image driven.
Yeah, Supreme Understanding. Shout out to my brother, Supreme Understanding.
Yeah, indeed.
The profound work that he's doing to proliferate his thought consciousness into many homes. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Yes.
We live in this era now of Netflix. We live in this era of streaming movies. We live in this era where production has now been handed down. Do you mind putting one of the what you have on film in the form of the camera?
What do you mean what I have?
Would you mind if you put that on camera to show
Put what on camera?
the black man?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nah, it ain't.
Well, what I'm saying is, the regular, everyday people have access to movie cameras now. In Black Dot's book, it's 10 movies. In Professor Griff's books, it's 10 movies. We're talking webisodes, we're talking movies, we're talking I'm talking...
You talking, National Treasure 4, 5, and 6.
You understand what I'm saying? So we live in this new era of the creatives' imagination. Because we would just
I'm gonna tell you, every Bobby lecture I left, every field lecture, I wanted to write graphic novels, webisodes, black vampire movie. Like,
that's what I'm saying. So
I was just inspired to write. You know what I mean? To take this information and to create alternative realities where I can transmit this information to people in the form of entertainment.
Exactly.
But I knew, the jewels was gonna, because I was like, you leave a Bobby lecture, you gotta write a book this size. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, there's another way that we can do that, because these teachers were entertaining.
Very much.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was sitting in class for 8 hours getting a stoic form of teaching. He spiced it up.
Yeah,
and his imagination was all the way real.
Facts.
You understand?
Yep.
And it worked. I wasn't sitting up there trying to figure out whether what he was telling me was quote unquote real. I got that it was imaginatory. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, he's in his imagination. He's in the fantasy realm. But guess what? It works. You feel me? Because I've been in other situations in them classrooms where I got put to sleep. You feel me? And I missed one half of the lecture. Oh, what happened? Oh, it's time to go. Because they just wanted to read out of the book. You know what I'm saying?
And not be the book.
And not be the book.
It's a total difference. Like, it's like night and day. Some people read the book, some people are the book. Like, you gotta know the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fact.
Like, some people are living out these stories, these mythos. Remember, the Arthurian myth is the most repeated story in all of literature. It keeps showing up, the hero's journey, and all of these similar archetypes that you find in a lot of these books. So these stories could be told on multiple levels, through multiple cultures, through multiple lenses and multiple languages and multiple ways. It's about taking these jewels and pressing them into the black diamonds that they are. We don't have to look outside of ourselves. We don't have to keep looking for somebody to come together, write a story that's favorably showing us, putting us in a superior UV ray light, you know what I mean? And broadcasting us around the world to heal the world of a disenfranchised, shattered image, fractured representation of an African man. You know what I'm saying? Let's repackage and rebroadcast, you know what I'm saying, and reprogram the world to the image of the black man and woman that exists today. That's what the book challenge showed you. Like, if we reading all of these books, you can imagine where our minds are at. We're not thinking like the average people. So this should be the means to a beginning of something a little bit bigger. Because we live in this social media world, you can't judge how things happen with memes and whatnot. You can't try to apply all kind of, you know, morality, consciousness.
Can't judge a book
Yeah.
by its cover.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know,
I wanna ask you about your stepfather.
yes.
We're talking about the BookPhone challenge, and we're talking about how important and how wonderful books can be, and how much we appreciate this challenge.
Yes, indeed.
Dr. Sabi didn't mess with books, according to his own words. Yo, you got his laugh down pack. Yeah, according to Dr. Sabi, he never read a book a day in his life.
Yeah.
So it might be confusing to somebody who's on their journey. They hear an intelligent brother make a claim, make a statement such as that,
Yes.
but then they hear Red and Blue talk about the importance of book, and they're trying to see what will be best for their journey.
Yeah. I'm not from the jungles of Honduras. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody that originates from that region. I think that Sabi was telling a story that benefited his image, you know what I'm saying, and what persona or character that he was selling to the world, you know what I mean? And that being the person who, once you become one with your environment, said environment, you are the book, like Red said earlier, you know what I'm saying? So Sabi being more of a traditionalist, right, out of the vein of Africanism, you know, what he was advocating was the fact that your communication comes, right, by way of mouth to ear, you know what I'm saying, oral tradition, the old school way. You sit with Nana, you sit with the tribes, elder, you know, griots, and you listen to nature, you listen to the communications from nature. You know, plants do communicate. Go check out the Secret Life of Plants, you know, with Stevie Wonder on the soundtrack. So I more so feel that that's what he was advocating and representing, and that he stood on. Whether we know that to be true or not is up for speculation. But I understood what he was trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Ironically enough, he was commissioning me to write his book. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether that means that he changed his stance later on in life, you know what I'm saying? But he did understand the importance. He liked my writing, and he wanted me to write his book, you know? And unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity to finalize that, but yeah.
Indeed. Well, I don't want to have. You want that on, or we? Yeah.
Hold on, let me.
You got it, right?
And my father is an English professor who, you know, grew up surrounded by books. He got about 3 bookcases at his crib. You know, he's a book connoisseur. And, you know, it's just something that if books aren't your thing, it just showed me that greatness is not attached to just, you know, reading books. You know, greatness is attached to being that book of knowledge. Dr. Sabi, I mean, he's that book of knowledge. He's the griot. He's the one who had the book in his head. You know, the one who attained and soaked up all of this information and was able to speak on it, build about it, teach it, share it, and things of that
He
nature.
was a
Apply
relic.
it.
He was a relic. He walked the streets with no shoes on. You know what I'm saying? He was the prototypical, quote unquote, African in America. You know what I'm saying? Almost like Eddie on some Coming to America shit. So he embodied that ethos, you know what I'm saying? That yes, an African is a walking encyclopedia. Okay? A quote unquote real African, top to bottom, from the bush, from the jungle. Because they're not writing books in the bush, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? They're not writing books in the bush, in the jungle. That was a part of what he identified. He said that was a part of contemporary civilization when they started using brick and building cities and civilization. So the way that he looked at it, civilization was the collapse of a thing rather than the introduction to, you know what I'm saying, the birthing, or he in his paradigm that wasn't to be celebrated. He was not an advocate of Kemet. He called it a cemetery. He's not an advocate of Imhotep, who had to open up a body to perform surgery, where he said that there's plants that can do this. So again, we're dealing with a clash of idioms, different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? What Sabi represented was something more ancient and archaic that deals with a part of Africa that doesn't get discussed enough. You understand? Does not get discussed enough. And in the bush, when they was even working with the plant medicine and the plant magic, that stuff wasn't written in books. That's where the controversy came at later on. With him and where he was advocating, when he was talking about Paulo and talking about I forgot the author's name, but this information that was now put in books and being taught and translated. Traditionally, this is not how these things have been done. Right. When we talk about our people, remember we only have 150-year reading history. Duh. And I want to make that clear. I said when we talk about our people, we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, on the continent and in the libraries of Alexandria and the grimoires and our historical reading history. We want to identify so much with the quote-unquote slave narrative and the fact that we were born out of that. Well, if you identify with that, you have 150-year reading history. You know what I'm saying? And our people still typically have a 10 to 15,000 word vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? So, this ancient sacred information being put in books and passed on, is still something new. Us reading these manuals, all of that book writing that took place in the 1800s when they were translating all of these ancient texts from Latin, you know what I'm saying? Greek. And Greek and everything, we're still catching up to that. To us, that's what Bobby Hemmett represents in regards to his book list. The books that Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark were writing, you know what I'm saying, represents a reintroduction to a lost and stolen legacy. You feel me? That's what those elders represent. What Dr. Valentine came and did with the wounded womb. You understand? That was a Bible within itself because it was prophetic. It was prophecy. He spoke about something that wasn't necessarily full blown at the time.
At that point, yeah.
And spoke on it and gave it, right, all sorts of
diagnosis,
perspective, language,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Different angles that you could look at it, and then it became a reality. You understand? And then we have this long argument and conversation that has taken place all of our life dealing with the Sun Book, the holy book, the Bible. You understand?
Yeah.
So books, yeah, you know, we're looking at a book that runs the world.
Yeah, book runs the world until you can figure that one out.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's a grimoire. If you want to call it a magic book, a book of spells, you know.
Hold that green book right there, Red. The green one. That's my
Book Runs the World.
that's my autobiography right there. I want to zoom in on that for the people. I advise everybody, if you want to read Brother Rich's autobiography, that's just something I would recommend right there. The I Am Discourses, yeah. And I won't even elaborate. That's for the more, you know, the people that's into that type. Y'all know exactly.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
Yo, we're gonna put the cyber library up on the app. It's about 1,000 books, but you know, our members will gain access into the library.
I see a lot of y'all got that hierarchy in your library, but I can't get no feedback on this blog.
Hold that one I just gave you up. Now I just want to give a shout out to the people out there doing what they got to do.
Yeah.
This sister sent me this book in the mail before I moved to Brooklyn. I didn't get a chance to read it thoroughly. I want to give the sister a shout out. I never called her personally and thanked her for sending me her book, but let me just zoom in, give her the ultimate plug. I don't even know if she watching this, but somebody might say, "Yo, Brother Rich, had your book."
That's right.
Let me make sure this is focused, yo. I want this sister to know that I do have a book, Young Black and American: The 21st Century Guide to Surviving. What that say? I can't read it. What does it say? 21st Century Guide to what? Thriving. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name?
Portia Kelly, MS.
Portia Kelly, MS. So, yeah. So y'all could, I guess, Google that.
Young
Look it
Black
up.
American.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that. So shout out to that sister. So to wrap it up, man, wrap this segment up. Y'all meet a lot of people. I'm not in front of the camera. Y'all meet a lot of people out there, and y'all telling me that the babies is watching us. So if y'all telling me the babies is watching us, and the babies think y'all cool, and the babies might get teased for being smart or for reading, because in the neighborhood they come from. I remember when I was young, in my hood in Harlem, they was like, "Why you got a Barnes & Noble bag for?" So I know how that will psychologically damage you in the future.
Yeah.
Talk to the babies about being smart and being cool at the same time, because it's like you're either one or the other. But now it seems like we're going into that paradigm where you could be both in the black community. Yeah.
Smart is cool.
Yeah, smart is cool. That's the new
Real
cool.
talk. Like, smart is cool. You know what I'm saying? Not only and amongst our demographics and, you know, the air that we breathe, but the babies is there. Like, you're gonna have to know a little something, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, these babies are born brilliant, you know.
They prepackaged.
Yeah, they prepackaged with brilliance, because you got to know computer science.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
They digital.
The way that your epigenomes is structured is totally different. You feel me? So you need to embrace your intelligence and know that that's going to be your passport throughout this world. You can't be smart enough in this new upcoming world. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to compete with robots.
You're gonna be competing with AI.
You're going to be competing with AI. So, you know, AI could crunch this in seconds. You know what I'm saying? But AI doesn't have the emotional import to go to the places that you can go with your mind, with your imagination. So it's imperative, you know, on the parents that I'm seeing in these photos and these videos with these phone books. Like, you got to pass that information on to your baby. You know, you got to figure out ways that your baby could jump into them books when you putting them down after you finish taking them pictures. You know what I'm saying? They should be smart as you, if not smarter, because y'all got hella books laying around. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to translate, and there are way too many people reading the same books for us not to have no solutions. That's another thing that really strikes me, that I'm like, you know, we need diversity in our book list. You know what I'm saying? We need a little bit more books on economics. We need books on game theory. You know, we need books on, you know, different history, not just ours. You know what I'm saying? There are different things that are impacting us You know, you need the book on New York history. You need the book on gentrification. You need the book on redlining, red zoning. You need books that speak to things that are, you know, you need books on real estate. You need books on the Federal Reserve. You know what I'm saying? Find out how that was formed. Like, these are things that are impacting us directly in our communities. You know, you need a book on Monsanto. You know what I'm saying? You need a book on gene splicing. You need a book on GMOs. Familiarize yourself with these topics so they're no longer just topical, because they're books. They go into everything.
Go into everything.
You feel me?
So you can understand.
So yeah, we should not just have the same 15 books. We need to expand our libraries. We need to expand our reading capacity to be inclusive of a myriad of topics. So when we do open our mouths, you know what I'm saying, we don't sound so limited with our information. You know, you might not sound necessarily like an expert, but you should be able to spar, you know. So for the babies, man, like, the world is yours, you know what I mean? There's an endless reservoir of things that you can tap into, you know, wherever your interests lead you, whatever your thing is. If your babies is really into social media, you know what I mean? Like, start teaching them photography, start getting them books on that. You know what I'm saying? These things are things that are, because the babies pick the cameras up and they want to use them and they know how to use them. So show the babies how to become a little bit sharper with the cameras. They'll engage you with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's other places where you can take it. You know, these babies are into drawing. You know what I'm saying? My niece and my nephew, yeah, they're natural artists. They draw. You know, my niece sings. She writes rhymes. You know what I'm saying? After Blue Ivy, you know, laid her bars, like, these babies gonna be looking from the age of 4 and 5. They're gonna be looking to rhyme. They're gonna be looking to dance. They're gonna be looking to become part of the entertainment, with their parents. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see a lot of that. So, you know, find out what your children consider to be fun and feed them that. You know what I'm saying? Feed them that in the form of books. Allow them to use their imagination to create a version of it themselves. You know what I mean? You can do it physically, or they can do it on their iPads. Their iPads is not just for looking at programming. You know what I'm saying? Show them how to create on their iPad. Show them how to get into these art apps. Show them how to get into these different creative suites. Because it's all available. It's all on the internet. You know what I'm saying? They have the world at their fingertips. So children understand that, yes, smart is cool. You feel me? And you are the preferred future that we have been awaiting. You're here. And we look forward to doing anything that we can do to help you express yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to seeing what y'all come up with.
Smart is life. All right? Smart is life. In the time that we all live in now, and what the future holds, smart is life. It's not about cool anymore. This is about life and death. So to be smart, people are going to argue that it doesn't come with a bulletproof vest. It won't physically protect you. They're going to speak in fear and say things like that. All right? They're going to try to equate it with protecting them, as if they don't have enough sense to secure some protection. Yo, books ain't going to protect me. Of course it would. But the kind of level of protection that you're referring to, you know, that's not the kind of protection that we're talking about. You're going to want to protect your mind. You're going to want to protect your mental. You're going to protect your thoughts. And then doing such will have you physically protected. So yeah, books will protect us. You know what I'm saying? In ways that just armor can't. Because it's a lot of people with armor, but their armor up top. They don't have, their helmet in order.
Right.
So that's very important. And having a strong mental is directly tied into books and the exercising of one's mind that the books afford you, right? Some of the greatest thinkers, some of the greatest inventors, some of the greatest, poets and musicians of our time spoke about the power of the word, the sword, like A.A. Rashid told us, you know what I'm saying? The sword. So we have an obligation to the children in the digital age that they live in now, where we can show them the possibilities of taking this book and digitizing it, right? Making it a digital experience so these pages come to life. Because these children are the code writers. I would encourage the children who are watching these videos to go online and put app development for kids or children, code writing for children, video game development for children. These books, some of these classics, deserve the upgrade that the youth have come here to deliver, because they're the ones who take this information and they take it into the next level because of their creative acumen. Little children at 6 years old are performing, gigs, performing tasks. You know what I'm saying? That people who are not even in their 40s and 50s can fathom. They understand the code. They understand because they came, like you said, prepackaged, wired.
Hardwired, right.
Hardwired. These are digital babies, baby. This is a digital age. It's not how you like to say. You know what I'm saying? Piscean.
Right.
You know what I mean? This
Aquarian,
is the telltale sign of the Aquarian. It all transpires in what we see. So this may be deemed Piscean, where the digital realm is Aquarian. The internet is disrupting and eating everything. It even threatens paper, okay? And consuming it in this onslaught of zeros and ones. This light, this digital, like how galactics will come and swallow up planets. That's what they'll talk about when they refer to the internet in literary terms. They're like, yo, it's like a ever-consuming planet eating other planets. It's a disruptor,
A destroyer and a disruptor, yeah.
Yeah. So these books are now more valuable. They're collector's items. We should own as many books as possible as a people who are definitely the benefactors of hidden information, stolen information, reinterpreted information, trying to sneak on a highway in the bread truck, hiding it under 4 loaves information. They got a lot of information gems hidden in some of their books. So we have master teachers who were responsible enough. They weren't egotistical to the point where they were hiding book lists or, denying our people what they're reading, letting them know, keeping it a secret. No, they were sharing their lists. There are some powerful lists that are out there. So I definitely encourage the treasure seekers to seek your treasure, find out the wealth of knowledge between these pages in these books and write your own book. Mm-hmm. That's what I would encourage the children to do. Write your own book about some of the things that you're experiencing in consciousness. Indeed. As a star child.
Leave your contact info, brothers.
Yes. KTL app and the Google and the iTunes
Know
store.
the Ledge.
Know the Ledge app and the Google and the iTunes store. EL_Filthmore on Instagram and Twitter and Snap.
Blue Pillar 44. That's on IG.
Peace, family.
Hello? You were saying something? Yeah. What you talking about?
That's the 4-hour work week. Tim Ferriss, he got a podcast out right now.
Yeah.
His podcast is popping.
It is?
So
Oh, word?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I advise everybody to tune in. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I read this years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we out. Family. Yeah. Bring the back. Bring the May back. Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we out.
pulling up.
Peace.
Hey.
Peace, family. This brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send